Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar event today, WordPress, the Future of Business Management. Our guest speaker is Yasha Sterling, founder and CEO of Yasha Sterling Management Agency. My name is Jennifer Ponder. I am live local here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am the Front End Senior Track Leadership Fellow. And today our guest speaker is Yasha Sterling. She is located in Chicago, Illinois. She is the founder and CEO of Yasha Sterling Management Agency, as I stated before. Yasha is ranked in the upper 1% of women who hold the MBA and MCS dual degree. She holds a bachelor's degree in English from Jackson State University and an MBA in marketing and e-commerce and a master's of arts in applied computer science, both from St. Xavier University. She helps business owners create profitable, done-for-you technology solutions. Yasha is a coach, consultant, and speaker. She is the two-time best-selling author of the Complete Web Business Blueprint and the Complete Web Business Blueprint Workshop. She is also the proud owner of 4 businesses. She is one of Intelcom's 2020 Top 50 Tech Leaders and has been shortlisted for Woman of the Year by the Women in IT Awards in August 2019. She also received the Web Guru Award in 2016 and received a Values in Action Award. In 2015, she won 2 Bravo Awards for technical expertise and quality. Now we want to go into our mission, which speaks to inspiring women to excel in technology careers. Also, our vision, a world where women are representative as technical executives, founders, VCs, board members, and software engineers. And please take a look at our code of conduct. We do want to foster an inclusive and collaborative community. Definitely, if there's anything you want to see that you have seen that you want to let us know about, definitely reach out to us front end at womenwhocode.com. If there is something about the code of conduct you want us to answer for you, or you need to send over some information to us. But you can go to womenwhocode.com/code of conduct for the entire code of conduct there. Now for our Women Who Code front end information. So welcome to all our new viewers. If you're new to us, you can definitely become a member at womenwhocode.com/front end and join right there on the page and take a look at our events as well. And our email again, frontend at womenwhocode.com. If you are a speaker and you'd love to do a talk for us, or you have some information that you'd just like to share with us about things that you'd like to see coming to the track, definitely feel free to send us an email. Also, we're on Twitter at Women Who Code Front End, so just WWCode Front End, and on Instagram, WWCode Front End 1. That way you can follow us, keep up with our Tech Talk webinars, any of our inspirational, motivational talks, and everything front end. And also we have Slack available. If you take a look in our Twitter pinned tweet, we do have a link to our Slack if you'd like to join, and also it is located in our Instagram story and our bio as well. So without further ado, I want to welcome today's speaker, Yasha Sterling.
Well, thank you so much, Jennifer, for that lovely introduction and all of the information that's available. Hi, everyone. Again, I'm going to share my screen a little bit. Let me jump in here. Let's see. It's going to be this guy. So give me just one quick second, and I will share my screen. Okay.
And it's the little, and hopefully it didn't go away, just a little green box. You may see it down there with the little arrow pointing up in it.
Okay, let's see. I don't see it. Hold on.
Because I know if you're on a dual screen, sometimes it can hide from you.
Okay, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let's get it, because I said I want this to kind of go really fast. So let me get it straight. So, okay, so I have the Zoom up.
Okay. And then it'll say share screen at the bottom. It's a little green box with the little arrow pointing up.
Okay, so here we go. and let me know if you guys can see that.
Okay, it's coming up right now.
Beautiful. How about now?
Okay, that's great. Yep, we see it.
Beautiful. All right, so today let's get into it, guys. We're going to get into some WordPress and have some good fun. WordPress, and let me just kind of preface this by saying WordPress was never really something I really, grabbed onto initially. Now, I basically am a CMS person. I started out 20 years ago using all types of CMS. So WordPress is something that I really grasped like the last couple of years, but I've kind of embraced it and now I love it. So let's kind of dive in here and let me show you some things that are fun that you can build with your WordPress. So one system, that's all you need. One system, and the possibilities are unlimited. So let me just piggyback off what Jennifer said. And like she said, I am a two-time best-selling author, international speaker. I speak all over the world, on topics of tech and business, and kind of a collaboration of the two, business and technology. Also, I'm an award-winning web guru. I've been nominated for some and won some awards, and then there's some pending. With the coronavirus, a lot of those events have been postponed. So later on in the year, hopefully I'll have some more news. I've also have 20 years of website management. I started out in 2000 building websites, and there's no reason to stop now. So I've been doing that for 20 years, and I've done that for multiple Fortune 500 companies. I'm currently getting a doctorate in computer science from North Central University, so I just kept it going. Once you get in there, you just really can't walk away from it. And like Jennifer said, I have a master's in computer science and a master's in business administration from St. Xavier right here in Chicago. And I started out, and I know it sounds weird, I have a bachelor's of arts in English, have never done anything English related except write these two books from Jackson State. And then I have some certifications. I have a bunch of certifications in Six Sigma, Agile, business, and goal success. So that's a little bit about me in a nutshell. So let's kind of jump in here. So who uses WordPress? WordPress by far is the top CMS that people use. It has 61.8% of market share right now. That's mainly because it's free. And that's mainly because it really has ease of use. So a lot of people gravitate, even like Fortune 500 companies, some bigger companies use WordPress on a daily basis. So rather than spend like tons of money, you have a tool that's so robust and it's free, why not use it? So 61.8%, that equates to about 455 million sites using WordPress right now as we speak. So your website, it should speak volumes. So if you have a website out there and you're utilizing some sort of tool, it should be speaking for you. You shouldn't have to say a lot if you have a really good website in place. So it should speak volumes about who you are, what you're doing, what job you're trying to accomplish. And so if it's doing all the speaking for you as a company, so think about it. If you're a business owner, or if you're someone who's like a freelancer and you kind of do like side jobs, if your website is speaking to people on the outside of the company, then why can't it speak to people on the inside too? So if you have like a little business, maybe you have some freelancers that come in and work for you. Maybe you have some people that are actually on staff. So if it works for those people, who's to say it can't work for the people on the inside of your job, for your company, right? So let's see what people say about on a daily basis. So on a daily basis, if you're working in corporate America, if you're working maybe in any capacity, you have to do a lot of toggling. So like maybe you use one thing for like, if you're in HR, maybe you have an employee tool that you guys use. If you're working in like marketing, maybe you have to use a CRM and another web tool. If you're working, if you're working in manufacturing, you have tools for that. Productivity, program management, all types of tools you have to get in every day. And what this SAFO study found was that 7 in 10 workers say that they have to switch between apps at least 10 times an hour. So just think about that if you're working and like every time you have to do a task, if someone sends you an email and they need you to do a task, you got to go out and you got to get that task. You're like, oh my God, I got to log into this. I got to sit there and I got to bring this task in, right? So it just drives you nuts. So what happens is your productivity comes into question because you're doing so much toggling, you get exhausted. So what happens is this study just went into a little further, and it said that employees suffered a 40% drop in their productivity. Every time you have to open a task, wait for it to load. Sometimes it may not load correctly, or it may load and you may have to call IT and that type of thing. There's a 40% drop there. So it becomes cumbersome. It becomes something that you have to address at one point. So 30% of those same workers who jump between those tasks, they said it caused them to lose their train of thought. Now, I don't know about you, but if you're switching between certain things and certain things, you'll forget because you did something over here, then you switched over here. Now you came back and you got to switch again. So what you were doing way over at the first task, you've forgotten about that. So the thing is, you lose your train of thought, right? Because you're toggling too much. So what happens is you get burned out on a daily basis. You're doing all these tasks. And what that does is what the study found further was that it encouraged procrastination. Because you're doing too many things in so many tools, 60% of the people say that they just delay finishing the task because it requires them to log into too many tools. So what do you do with that? So you get frustrated. And so let's look a little bit further into this study, right? So these employees in this study, they said they're not happy with, having to collaborate, having to go through all these apps. It's just too much. It's just too much to do. So 45 workers 45 and older, and I'm getting there. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. They prefer email. I mean, just send me an email. Send me an email back and forth, and we can get the task done that way. Honestly, I see that, most people are a little, of age. People, they prefer what's not broken. If it's not broken, don't fix it type thing. So if you can email me a task, I email you back when it's done. There you go, boom. I didn't have to tolerate. I didn't have to go through 10 different apps to get it done for you, right? So what they say, 70% also said that, communicating, talking back and forth, that's a challenge. If you have to toggle between these apps and you have to collaborate, on multiple systems, maybe, like Jennifer said that they have Slack now. That's a collaboration tool. You got IM, you got to collaborate through, email, you have to collaborate through that. So the volume of the many things you have to communicate through, that's a challenge, right? And so 68%, like we said earlier, 68%, they have to toggle between 10 times. 10 times you have to toggle between an app just to get a job, just to get a simple task done. And so those and like we said, 31% of those, they lose their train of thought. And so this was the good one. 53% said this is more annoying than doing chores. So being able to come in and have to, switch before, and, chores or something, you just like, oh, I got to do these chores. Now, some people like chores, but the average person, i.e. me, I don't like to do a lot of chores. So 53% said, juggling between these tasks is just way too annoying. So how do you avoid navigating multiple apps to get your work done, right? So what you want to do, there's two options, two separate things you need to do here. You want to implement a system that manages all your daily routines. So on a daily basis, if you have to send an email, if you have to do like an email campaign, maybe you're in marketing, you have to do an email campaign. If you're in HR, maybe you have to you have to talk with an employee, maybe you have to do some employee reviews. If you're in marketing as well, you do some CRM, you may have to kind of manage the relationship between, the customers you're trying to get versus the customers you have. Manufacturing, productivity, everything. What if you had a system that managed everything? And WordPress has, at the very least right now, they have 54,000 plugins available. What a plugin is something, is just like it sounds. You plug it in and it works. Just like, little things with the computer, it says plug and play, because that's what you do. You're supposed to be able to stick it in, and it works. So WordPress has what you call plugins, and it has 54,000 of any numerous things that you could want to plug into your website on the back end, and it works. And then they have ones those are free. So the 54,000 are free. So then they have thousands of them that you pay for. So if you can pay a little bit of money to get some peace of mind without having to juggle multiple tasks when you do it, and ideally, from what my experience with WordPress, ideally you only want the plugins if you really have something robust you need to do, which in particular case is kind of rare. So, being able to utilize those free ones, if one doesn't work, what I found, you can use another one. So they're easy to implement. If once you learn the WordPress takes, the average person, if you know how to install it, and if you're anything, because I'm a programmer by nature, but my hosting solution, they do it for me. They tell you where to go. They give you the login information. You log in, put the username and password in, boom, you're well on your way. I think the whole process takes roughly 10 minutes at best when I want a WordPress site on a particular domain that I've bought. So what you want to do, you want to do that, something that will handle those systems that you need on a daily basis. Also, you also want to do a system that can handle both. So if you have a website and that website has plugins, then why not do both in one place? If you have plugins that are like a Slack, if you have I know Ring Central is one of mine because I, use the phone on a daily basis. CRM, HubSpot. If you have these tools already in place, what if they're already in the environment that you're working on? What if they're already on the back end of your website and all you got to do is log into your website, and not only can you manage the website, but at the same time you can manage those productivity tools that you need without having to flip through multiple screens and losing out on productivity. So that's how you need to navigate multiple apps to get your work done. So what I've come up with is a system called Pivoted. And this is how it looks. It's one CMS, right? So that's WordPress and no additional tools. You don't need anything else. And this is your one complete business solution. There's no need to manage the website and your business operations separately. You just build a website for your front end, and then you implement all those things that you need to do on a daily basis. Regardless of what role you're in the company, you put all of that on the back end. This is what's called enterprise resource planning. So how did I come up with this philosophy? It's based on the model. It looks like that got cut off. This is based on what I've written in my book from the Complete Web Business Blueprint. It's called 10D3. So it's a 10-step process that says there's no way that you have to have a technical background to build a website. There's so many tools out there that you can use that make it so easy that it alleviates all that productivity and all that anxiety and all that procrastination. So I came up with this theory. It's called the D3. And what that means is technology is well-rounded and it's always going to change. So D360. So that means it comes all the way around, back and forth. So, when you kind of look at technology, it tends to go round and round, and you tend to always wind up in the same place. So that's the process that I've come up with. It's called dimensional digital diffusion. So what I've come up with is 10 phases that you should follow when you're building out your process to build in these two sides of the coin. So your business side and your website side. So once those phases are completed, you should be able to help your company grow because you don't have all that anxiety because you've been building something in one place, and B, you have a tool that's simple and it's easy to follow on a daily basis, and it can constantly grow. It's going to always grow. It's not going to stay in one place. So that's kind of the benefit of working with one tool that does multitude of things. So you should ideally be able to take your company to the next level with this one particular platform. So let me tell you a little bit about the 10 steps that I've come up with. So all of them are D3. So all of them are 10 D steps that are easy to remember. So step one is to discover. Step two, meaning that, and when you, let me kind of go into what each one means. When you discover, that means you do your research, you do your analysis, you find out some people, maybe the tool isn't for you. That's when you start here. That's why you go to discover, see if the WordPress and Business Combo is ideal for you. Maybe it's not because of the nature of your business. But I would, about 99% of the time it is. So then define. Once you come up with a solution, you say this is all good to go, then you define it. Then you come up with a process between how you build it. Then you design. So then you go out and say, how do I want my system to look? You're going to do this WordPress, but how do you want it to look? And then develop. That's the step we're going to talk about a little bit further today, how we're going to build that out. And then you deploy it, you build it. That means you push it out to the world, you push it out to your employees so they see your website. The front end crowd sees your website, the back end crowd is your staff. And then the brief, you write down, you go through and you make sure you find out everything. You do some testing, make sure everything's okay. You constantly check it. And step 7, everything that you've done to this point, you want to be writing it down. You want to make sure that, in the event that someone's away, someone's out of the office, you have some documentation in place. And you can also do that in your back. All of these steps you can do right in your WordPress site. So step 8 is the narrow. How do we get some money? So if we have this tool, how do we bring in the money? You can do that in the tool itself. Digital marketing, email marketing, SEO, search engine optimization, email marketing, your website, managing that, managing your social media, all of this can be done right in your WordPress site. And then step 10, make a pact to your team. You and your team make a pact that this is going to be what we use from here on out. No buying extra tools, no buying extra things that'll, defer the productivity. You want something in place that you can use and use going forward and enhance it on a daily basis. So make that commitment to your team and yourself. So that's the 10-3 model in a step. And like I said, we're going to go into step 4 here. So let's talk a little bit. I told you that what we're looking at is bringing all the parts of your business together. It's called enterprise resource planning. So what that is, and if you're a business student, you probably know a little bit more about this because you have to take these ERP classes. So what that is it helps businesses perform their day-to-day operations. So it includes everything. So if you look at the chart here, human resources, your CRM, your sales, your manufacturing, how you build out your products, your development, your project management, and your accounting, and so much more. So enterprise means that you bring everything under one particular roof and it's managed just that way. And there's a nice flow in between each one. So let's talk a little about how we're going to show you how to do this on your own. So maybe when you walk away from here, you're like, oh yeah, let's go in and build me a whole system behind on the back end. So let's talk about how we do this, right? So the first thing you're going to do, of course, is you're going to install WordPress. So the way WordPress works, you just kind of, if you're, kind of more advanced developer, then you can build it on the back end of your site. You have access to a database. You set your database up. You set up your environment. Some people put it on the root of their site. I usually put it in some folder because I tend to like to be a developer. I don't like WordPress taking over my entire site. So it usually sits off in a folder managing some other part of my website. So you have to install the WordPress first. If you have any problems, and I've seen tons of hosting providers, they call it the one-click install, where you just kind of tell them, hey, put it in this folder or put it on this domain. There you go, boom. And so once you get your WordPress all installed, then you want to install, this is the app that I have used to, and I don't want to call it an app, it's a plugin. This is what I use. It's called WP ERP. So it's your complete Word business manager, and it manages initially when it comes out of the box. When you first, if you install this plugin, it's going to manage your HR, your CRM, and accounting. And let's face it, those are the main things about running a business, right? Managing the people that work for you, kind of building that relationship with the outside people, and then managing your money. So, so those are the main things you do when you're running a business. So that's why they give you out of the box these three major components, and it's all free. Why would you not? So let's take a little deeper what they offer you. So so HR, so you can control everything from HR. You can control your employees. You can search about your employees by the department. You can make announcements to say like you need it. Say like with this, with the COVID, maybe like you wanted to send out like a mass email. You can do it over Outlook, but you can also, if you're already in the tool, maybe working on some HR related stuff. You don't want to have to come out, go to Outlook, look for the group to send it to, and then you can send it right from this tool. That's the beauty behind it. Also, another thing that you can do with this particular tool is CRM. And let me kind of, I don't know if, because most developers, there's always that weird relationship between developers and marketers. So CRM is more marketing, and CRM stands for customer relationship management. So that's how you would manage the relationship between you and your customer. So if you like been talking to a customer trying to get them on board to buy your product, then the CRM is what would manage. So like if you talk to them on a certain day, it would manage that. Maybe you need to send them an email. Maybe you send out, maybe your company came out with a good product and you want, hey, we got this coming out. Maybe that'll benefit you. It's managing that day-to-day relationship with those customers, both the ones you're trying to get and the ones you already have. So it's CRM is really robust, and people, they're like full-fledged a system called Salesforce that's like heavily robust and really manage CRM, because CRM is just that tool that's going to manage that relationship. But you can manage that all right within the tool. You don't have to go have a whole separate robust system. You can manage it right in WordPress. And then right here is the accounting. So like managing your money, what's going out, what's coming in. You can manage that all right in your WordPress tool. You can go in, you can track, if you want to send invoices out, you can do that right here. If you want to see, the money you're paying out to your employees, the money that you're paying out to other businesses, your bills for your business. Everything can be managed right here in the tool. There's no need to go get a QuickBooks. There's no need to go out and all this other software that, proclaims to manage a tool. If you're already in the tool, say like you work, maybe you do like operations. A person that's doing operations will be involved in all different parts. So marketing, accounting, the CRM, the productivity, that person's involved in everything. And if you're already in the back of the tool managing one part, why would you want to jump out and have to go to another tool? That's the beauty behind this particular plugin. It has everything you need to run a business. There's no need to jump out and go back to that productivity thing or losing the train of thought because you had to jump out and go to another environment. So here's some other things. So not only those three, but there's everything else right in this tool. So payment gateway. So if people need to pay you, if you're sending out invoices and those people need to pay you, there's a payment gateway there. Recruitment, if you're looking for jobs, if you're hiring and you want to send out a job post, you can send it right from the tool. Attendance, if you're the type of, if you're a micromanager and you're tracking employee attendance, you can do that right in the tool. HR front end, maybe you have an HR like portal that you want employees to be able to access. Maybe, if they're going in and they need to see what benefits they have, maybe they need to go and see, pull down a paycheck from a particular month, to do something else with. This particular tool will do that as well. Training, if you have certain training that you're doing for your employees, you can do this right in the tool. And WooCommerce, I don't know how familiar you guys, but WooCommerce kind of is hand in hand with WordPress, meaning that that's how you send out things you want people to purchase. So if you have like say like you're running an e-commerce business, you put that WooCommerce in as well. And generally it comes packaged with WordPress. Sometimes I've had to implement it very seldomly. Most time it comes packaged. So not only can you manage, the money that's coming in from your accounting, but you can manage, it can integrate with that accounting, with the sales, and the sales come in and all of that's combined all within one tool. So other things out there, I didn't want to just go into like really big detail. I wanted to kind of look at this. So forms, if you have forms, maybe you need to send out forms. Maybe employees need to fill out forms. Maybe you need to send out email type forms that you want to send out to your customers. All of that can be managed right in the tool. Payroll, your asset manager. If you have certain documents, say like you have like each department has a document portal that they keep like important documents in, and they keep them all saved so everybody can access them. So maybe like marketing campaigns, or like form documents, or like like procedures, policies and procedures. Those things can be managed right in the tool, and that's called an asset manager, because that's what you'll do. You'll put those files up on this particular server, and anytime someone needs to access, you just, oh, it's out on the asset manager. They don't have to go to some random, SharePoint file that you have out somewhere. You have that right in the tool. HubSpot, like I talked about HubSpot. HubSpot is massive, where you can do all your marketing right in one place. But like I told you earlier, they have integrations, right? So HubSpot is integrated into WordPress. You don't have to go to HubSpot.com. You can you can implement it right in your WordPress and manage it from there. You don't have to jump out, when I got to go out to HubSpot. No, it's right in the tool. It's a plugin. MailChimp is also a plugin. You don't have to jump out of MailChimp. If you want to manage, if you have a MailChimp account and you're more geared towards MailChimp, it's right in the tool. You don't have to look for it. Now, this particular tool has its own email marketing software. It's not named, but if you want to send customers emails about like promotions you're having, sales that you're having, they have an email marketing tool right in this thing. You're not tied to MailChimp. Let me put it like that. Technical support. If you're able to go out, if you're, providing like something's wrong with the website, or something's wrong with some other, something that you offer and that you need to provide technical support for, you can do that right in the tool here. You don't have to get a separate system to provide technical support. Salesforce, I told you how important Salesforce is. Salesforce is massive for CRM. You don't have to jump out and go to Salesforce. There's a Salesforce plugin. It's right in the tool. You don't have to jump out. Zendesk, that's another tech support. That's a huge tech support tool. But it's right in WordPress. SMS notification. If you want to send out like a mass text, if you have permission to send out text to particular customers and or employees, you have a tool right in here that you don't have to jump out. You don't have to get a separate like text messaging tool. It's right in WordPress. And then another one is Document Manager. That's another kind of play on the Asset Manager. Document Manager also manages the documents that you put up for. Maybe you do one document, maybe one group has a document thing that they use, and another group has another document type they use, but you both don't have to use them separately. It all can be used in the tool. So there's like a beautiful thing here happening where, you can see, your whole business right in front of you. You don't have to have multiple windows open. You don't have to have all these different environments that's going to play on your productivity, and or it's just going to make you just like, you know what, forget it. I got to go take a smoke, or I got to take a drink, or I got to go to lunch or something. It's going to make you, just throw you away from it. You want something that's already in there. We live in a world that we kind of rely on convenience. So being able to have everything in one place, especially something like your job, where you have everything in one place, you don't have to jump out, you don't have to, jump through hoops for, it's brilliant. So let's look a little bit more. So not only that, suppose like you wanted to, kind of be, and I'm going to wrap this up in a minute. So suppose you want your website to be, or even when you log on, when you first log on to the system on the back end. Suppose you're one of the people that's the employee and you're coming into work. What you can do is make it personal. You can make this beautiful to where you know it's your tool because you built it. You got these plugins that you can customize, right? So let's take a look at this customization called White Label CMS. What you do is, now I took you through a couple of steps here just to, kind of from flipping through screens. So this is the first screen. They take you, what do you want it to say on the screen when people first log in? Who's going to manage it? What website? And like in the footer at the bottom, what do you want that footer to say? And then you talk about, what do you want to see when you first log on? So you say the incredible client, I just kind of put some stuff in here. And then I just put one of the random logos. That's just one of the logos from one of my other companies. So I just put in a random logo, and I just kind of keep going through the steps and I save it. And then this is what I have when I come in the morning. So instead of that WordPress, I don't know if you guys are familiar with how WordPress looks when you first, but it has a lot of announcements. It has a lot of, like tools you can use, which is very good. But you want this, if you want a little bit more personal experience, then you can do that with that white label CMS. So this is what you see in the morning when you first log on to the tool, which is so fascinating. So now you know, and that's one thing, now you know you're in the right place because it's the name of your company. And then what if you don't like, I like them, you probably like, say like you like the feed that you get on a daily basis, but you don't like the way it looks. You can easily do your own plugin. I know we're in a front end group, but this is very minimal back end that you can do. It's PHP. So right here, and this is all you need. This little box right here, this is all you need to build your first plugin. So you put this in, you put the name of it, you put the description in it. You see you started with PHP. You can go in and you can do like all your front end beautifulness. You can put in like if you want like boxes there, you want to put like nice little colors, if you want to do some CSS, do that all within this plugin. So there's no way to say, not only can I have my robust tool, but I can make it look the way I want. So it's beautiful. So the possibilities for this particular tool are endless. You got so much. WordPress is constantly growing. I think they're up to, I don't even know what version. I'm always getting an alert about WordPress version something, WordPress something. And I implement it because I know that what they're doing is they're constantly evolving. So, and plugins come out there all day, every day. People are building those plugins. Be careful about, just one word of advice, be careful about, just downloading plugin after plugin. Kind of stick to what you need. Don't go overboard with the plugins. Just really, if you're trying to build a business on the back end so you can manage it in one place, just look at the reviews. Look what people are saying about those reviews before you just start implementing plugins on your particular site. Because you got to remember, not only are you managing the back end, you still have to manage your website as well. So you got to always be able to, and then that's another beautiful thing. There are tools that you can, as an admin, if you're the person that's managing this entire operation, you can take away certain privileges from certain people. So if Sally's working in HR, she shouldn't have access to the website. If she's doing something for the website, maybe she has certain access to certain parts of that particular web, but she shouldn't have access to the entire, website where she can go in and make changes to the theme and everything else. So you have permissions in there that these are things you would think about back in your strategy. Who's going to have permissions to this stuff? Who's going to be able to see what? Giving them, each one of those people, certain people have certain levels of security. And that's another thing. Make sure that's another plugin that you'll have, a really robust tool. Make sure you look out there and really get some security, because you're looking at your website being secure as well as your back end being secure, because you're going to put out sensitive data. So now you want to make sure that you do the best robust WordPress plugin. And there are good ones out there. I have tons of them on my sites that, manage the security really well, so people can't inject things in and, try to hack your site and or your back end. So that's pretty much it, guys. Did you have any questions? I would love to welcome them. I would love to answer them at this point.
And I'm going to check the chat here, Yasha.
Sure.
Perla, we have a question from Perla Humphrey. Give me 1 second here. I see
Okay.
you got your hand raised. And then in the meantime, while I'm trying to unmute Perla here, can you build a WordPress for mobile applications? That's the question we have from Perla.
Yes. So you have, and the thing is, of course, most websites will come if you buy a thing. Well, not buy a thing, but if you download a thing, most WordPress comes responsive. That means it's already going to be mobile. It's going to be mobile friendly. There are apps on there. Now, I've had some where I wanted to build an app, and they cost a lot of money. I saw one that they will build that WordPress site for you. I mean, if you need to, I can definitely, I know the name of it. I just can't think of the top of my head. But they will build your WordPress site into a mobile app for you. But that is not free. That's one of those those premiums I talked about in the beginning. They will build those WordPress apps for you. They'll make your whole WordPress system, they'll make it into an app for you.
And just to kind of piggyback off that too, Yasha, what would you say are some great things for people who, they want to focus on the mobile app development piece of it, but is there anything probably that's coming down the pipeline with WordPress for mobile apps, other than the responsive things, but anything new that you're noticing to help with if a person just specifically specializes in mobile app development, they're just not a traditional full stack, browser developer?
Mm-hmm. I've seen tons of where there are apps outside that you can like purchase. I mean, that makes like a little mobile app that wouldn't mimic your site. It looks like an actual app. So like even the buttons and everything, it looks like an app. So those tools, I see those. What I've seen as of recent, I've seen those particular companies. They're bringing their actual software onto the platform as a plugin. So they're coming into, so that's what I think. I think a lot of people see that WordPress is that environment that people are gravitating towards. Because, like I said in the beginning, it's free. And for the majority of the stuff that you need to do, it's free. So now so a lot of those developers, those systems, those softwares that are building mobile apps like on the fly, outside on their own, they're bringing them into the fold now. So people can say, oh, they can just take my WordPress and make an app. Cool. So they're bringing them in, but they're not bringing them in for free. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they're gravitating from the outside into this platform.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And we have a question here from Asi Mayam. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. There are many software as a service softwares for small businesses. Does WordPress compare to them? Or maybe they're asking, how does WordPress compare to them?
See, that's the thing, and that's kind of the point. A lot of those software as a service, like even like MailChimp and Constant Contact, little things that small businesses would use, they have a plugin on the WordPress on that. All you have to do is do a quick okay, this is what you do. Let me present you with a challenge. Any tool that you're using right now, for your business, whether it be email marketing, maybe SEO, maybe you're using some sort of SEO particular platform. I almost like 95% guarantee they have a plugin on that platform in WordPress. All you got to do is do a simple search. That way you can, and even if you have an account with them, you can implement that. They integrate together. So, and even on that particular platform, they tell you, and they use that as a marketing tool now. They'll say we integrate with WordPress because that's what's going to gravitate people towards it, because they know it's gonna play nice with their particular system that they already have. So any small business system that you're using right now, I guarantee they have some type of integration with WordPress that will easily make it easy to use it right in that tool rather than having to manage both.
Okay, and then we have another question from Perla.
Sure.
Have you seen attribution models plugins for email campaigning?
I have, and Constant Contact is great with bringing those in for you to be able to use and see those particular. And even the beauty behind Constant Contact is that they have those attributions and they kind of sync well with the attributions that you use already in WordPress. So over on your categories, already into the, I see them where they're marrying those. So you can say, does this marry like your categories in WordPress? Maybe you have like, I don't know, like people, and then maybe gender, maybe age, and so those particular things, they're marrying those things into WordPress so they sync well. So, like I said, they're looking at these things that, people are gravitating towards, and they're making their particular models, convenient for you. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I've definitely seen those attribution models definitely play nice in the particular tool.
Okay, okay. And then as far as, because we do have developers who love to develop, their own custom things,
Mm-hmm.
and put
Mm-hmm.
in, in the back end for the code. What's some of the things that you would recommend that will be kind of easy breezy where you don't feel like you don't have to be the, I don't have to be the HR person if they're trying to create their own thing, so to speak, because I know we listed all of the great things within the HR modules and the marketing and all of that. But if you're a developer who I just want to get hands on in there and develop, um, and manage my own tools, what's some of the things that can really be good for you, but you don't have to feel like, hey, I don't have to be in the back end coding every day?
Yeah, that's where I kind of talked about, I touched on, and I was trying to get back to it before you start talking, so hold on. But it's that plugin, it's called, and you put that plugin, very simple plugin. The only back end part that you would, let's see, can we find it? Hold on 1 second. If that's happening. We're going to jump right back into that plugin right here. So, so right here, if you look at this box right here,
Okay, that's
this opens your PHP. That's
okay.
all the back end you need to do. In there, you can go buck wild. You can get in there and put in HTML, because PHP is going to read. That's what PHP generally does. It reads HTML. So you
Okay.
can get in there and you can build, like I said, you can build, go buck wild. Just build blocks. You want blocks of content in there. Maybe, like let's go back one particular, let's look at the here. So this is what this would look like. So this is what you look like when you use that CMS. But suppose on this particular side, maybe you want some news. Maybe on this side, you want some more things. Maybe you want to get creative with this page. You want more than just a login. Because this is some prime real estate here for somebody who's just logging on. Maybe you have employee news that you want to put right on this, login.
Hmm.
That's how you go. That's how you do it, right? With that plugin, really simple to build a plugin. They make it seem like it's difficult, but it's not. This is all you need right here. This little code right here
Okay,
that
because I was
says,
thinking it was something else in addition, just in case of
yeah,
any
absolutely,
other changes, to this. If you want to just because we have some people that are very ambitious and very creative, which is a good
right,
thing. And
yeah.
I was just thinking if there's anything else in addition you can think of other than this piece of code that they would need, you know.
No, because basically, once you get into the PHP code, you started it right. You said, okay, I'm gonna do because WordPress is PHP.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you started off and say, hey, we're gonna hit what you want. You want PHP, but now I'm gonna put my HTML in. So right here,
Right.
down here, this is where you just start with your CSS. Start with everything, and then start building out how you want that page to look, and that's gonna carry it. Once you upload this to your particular WordPress site, it's gonna automatically pull in that HTML, and that's where it's gonna display.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good to know. And Perla also asks, can you recommend a web hosting provider that plays well with WordPress installation?
Well, see, I'd be biased because I've used DreamHost for years. Now, Bluehost has been highly recommended as well. I've heard they do really nice, and GoDaddy. GoDaddy's, a good hosting as well. But those three are ones that I've actually touched, and I know that they work well with WordPress. So my top one would be DreamHost because I've used it for, I know, upwards of 11 years. So I know they do it well. DreamHost, I mean, Bluehost is because I have some clients that have that. Some clients come to me and they already have their hosting. So sometimes you have to kind of work with that. And so Bluehost has been well, and then GoDaddy. And I have some clients that have GoDaddy as their particular hosting. So they do well. So those are the three I would recommend. I wouldn't prefer one over the other. At the end of the day, they pretty much do the same thing for you. So I wouldn't say which one is better than the other.
Okay, well, those are some great resources. We just want to check here. I'm just going to check our Q&A portion again, make sure we have answered everything in there, and make sure we don't have. And Yasha, definitely go ahead if you'd like to plug any of your contact information if anyone wants to reach out to you for additional
Absolutely.
questions.
So if you want to reach out to me, you can definitely reach out to me. My name is it's a good thing that my name isn't like normal. So anywhere on Facebook, I have a Facebook. I have two Facebook pages. Well, actually, I have three. I have a personal one, and then I have Yasha Sterling Facebook. That's my business page, and my YSM Yasha Sterling Management Agency. That is also a Facebook page. Same thing with Twitter. I have a Yasha Sterling Management and Yasha Sterling for Twitter. Instagram. It's called on Instagram. My moniker is the Web Chick, so that will be on Instagram. But there's also a YSM Agency Instagram and Pinterest. There's a Yasha Sterling on Pinterest, and there's a YSM on Pinterest as well. So I am not far any. I'm not invisible in any kind of way. You can reach out to me, and I can definitely, and on LinkedIn. Sorry. LinkedIn, I have my personal LinkedIn, and then YSM has a LinkedIn page as well. So any way you want to reach out to me, I'll be happy to help. I'll be happy to provide. If you have any additional questions later, feel free to reach out and say, I really didn't understand that part. I can definitely reach out to you. Even if you want this presentation, you can, have that as well. That's what it's kind of for. It wasn't one that, I need to keep, close in my heart. So, I can definitely pass that along as well.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you so much, Yasha, for this talk. Because, like I said,
Absolutely.
definitely needed, and this is great information. And in this time, while I know as developers we like to develop stuff, but actually automating processes are always good. And I know we have folks that are purely solely WordPress developers, so I want to have this for them.
Absolutely.
And before we close out today, what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna share some last minute updates that we have, our closing updates, to let you all know what's coming to the track for May, and what we have coming up and how you can keep in contact with us. Just a second here. Okay. So for our closing updates, we have our Slack study group that is every Friday at 2. Sorry, that went a little fast there. But our Slack study group, we have every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can log into Slack, and we talk about anything from coding projects to anything else that you'd like or need help with, any debugging topics. And just anything tech. So we love to do that there. And some weeks we do have dedicated talks there as well if we're getting into dedicated topics. And now one thing that we have too, now that everyone is online and due to all that is happening in the world right now, we have Women Who Code Digital that launched recently last month. And basically all of our networks that are going online now, you can always find an online event, not just with the tracks, but our different networks in different cities and around the globe. You can definitely be connected to us. And May, we want to have accessibility and remote team processes tech talk. So while everyone is shifting their priorities and prospects and things that of that nature going online, we want to make sure that we keep everyone up to date on the best practices of working remotely. And we're looking to do some Ask Me Anything sessions for front end development. So definitely tune in and stay uh, tuned in to us. We're definitely going to let you know when we're going to have those. We want to do those on Twitter. And if we can jump onto a Zoom call, we want to have some developers come in and just talk to our group, our community, let them know what's going on with front end development. And even if that's something about their job and what they're doing, we want to let folks be able to ask and have the opportunity to ask questions. So thank you all for definitely attending, and we definitely want to thank our sponsors, BCG Digital Ventures and the Home Depot. And a thank you to our audience, and definitely, Yasha, thank you so much for your talk today.
Oh, great. Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you. And Stacy Stark just said, thank you, great content. Thank you, Stacy, for participating. And everyone, if you want to get in contact with us, like I said, reach out to us at frontend@womenwhocode.com if you'd like to be a speaker or you'd like some more information on joining the track, and definitely join our Slack to keep up with us as well. So we love to keep in contact with everyone in the community. So thank you all for joining today, and we'll see you next time online.